I mean, if you got ambushed by an evil spirit, this would be literally the worst place. Especially if all you had was a bow and arrow. It is dumb. Stop getting distracted. Look where you're going. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of Modaozushi. As I said in my last recording, I am trying my best to get us caught back up on the recording. Timing? Sorry, my brain stopped mid-sentence there. So I am recording this essentially the very next day instead of the very next week as I normally would. So we are on the fast track to getting back up to speed, I said, in the slowest cadence I possibly could. So we come back as we normally do with a board and some notes and comments again. So let's go ahead and hop into the board first, where, as usual, I come back with the board change log. I changed the clan borders key to also have their banners. I figured that might help. They're constantly showing us the banners, so I changed the colors around, so let me know if I messed something up. I mostly changed the colors around so it fit the banners, because, you know, having like a green banner on a yellow background is just makes your eyes water. It's cry. You want to cry when you see something like that. I made a change I think I had to make, considering the timeline and how confused things might be if I leave future information in the past side of the board. I brought Jin Zijuan and Yan Li to the present and represented the current state as we know it there, which is to say one of them's dead and the other one we don't know. And then I removed the state I had them in the past and changed their past selves to reflect what's been represented in this episode. I marked Yan Li as dead in the present and connected her with a blue line to Zijuan and tied them together with Jin Lin, again, all in the present. In the past, I connected Jin Jiwan to Yan Li with a white line, because, you know, that relationship is... I changed the white line between Wei Yin and Jin Zijuan to red. I added Jiang Fengmian and connected him with a blue line to Jiang Cheng and Yan Li. I thought about Wei Ying, because again, he seems like the adoptive father, but Wei Ying also refers to him as uncle. I'm just not certain. I'm not certain if I should blue line them. I connected Ojan to Yang Li with green line. I don't know why I used his abbreviated name there. And I added Yu Ziyuan and connected her to Fang Mian with a blue line and to Wei Ying with a white line. She very much does not like that guy at all, but she doesn't seem to be acting upon it yet, which is why it's not a red line. If she ever does anything, that white line's going to become red. So that is the board. So now let's hop into notes. Well, now we know why so many of the Lan clan play musical instruments, following in the footsteps of their founder, Lan An, which, by the way, I have not added to the board because, I mean, unless we go way, way into the past, I do not see a reason to do so. Funny enough, the one thing Kuren doesn't say was that he was humble, given the lavish praise heaped on their ancestor, or that he's heaping on their ancestor. I wonder if they actually know the identity of Lan An's wife, or if the one is just a moniker given to protect their identity or anonymity. No idea why would that be the case. Maybe they came from another clan than the Lan clan. Well, I mean, obviously it would be from another clan from the Lan clan because the Lan An founded it, but, you know, that the Lan clan of the present time doesn't care to associate with their history. Maybe. Either way, it's noteworthy. Speaking of that backstory, they mention how he traveled the world cultivating, and they've yet to really go into what cultivation is. By context, I actually thought it meant the rooting out of evil spirits at first. But then I remembered Lan Zhan saying that he was cultivating in the pool that Wei Ying met him in. So it can't be that. Since the zombie incident and that golden ball we got flashed with, I have to think that cultivation must be seeking enlightenment and awakening something inside, as spiritual energy seems to be a thing that can be harnessed and used, as per the whole spirits, swords and whatnot. It stands to reason that there must be exercises and such that one could do to grow stronger in such a thing. Thus, cultivation. My interpretation of what's been presented anyways. So Jin Zijuan isn't happy to discuss his engagement with Yan Li, to the point of walking away from his fellow clansmen when they talk about women. By the way, for some reason I just fucking hate using the word clansmen, but they are of his clan, and they are men, technically clansmen. I guess that's the respectful thing to do, considering the contempt I have for him as a character. It could have been worse. You know, until he did go and run his mouth anyways. We already know he doesn't like the Jiang clan for some reason, for his conversation in earlier episodes where he told Wei Ying to keep them away from him. He also suggests that Yan Li has a thing for Wei Ying. I don't know if it's just meant to insult or if there is actually something there yet. Wei Ying has said that there are beautiful women there in the past, so it could have been a hint towards his consideration of Yang Li, I suppose. And not for nothing, he does act awful familiar with her, more so than, say, an adopted brother might. The last time we were at the ancestral shrine, we were seeing Lan Zhan and Wei Ying getting their punishments. So when we transitioned back there, after Wei Ying got into the fight, in the middle of Lan Kurin talking about their clan's ancestor, I just expected we would be seeing more of that. No clue why we didn't, other than maybe Wei Ying just got expelled, which is why his adoptive father came to talk to Lan Kurin, and also why Wei Ying didn't go back to Guso with Jiang Cheng, as per the 1-year time jump by episode's end. I couldn't help but pick up on a sense of sadness in Jiang Cheng's eyes when Jiang Fengmian stood before Wei Ying. Wei Ying clearly looked excited, but what I would typically describe as Cheng's exasperated face, I don't know, it just looked like something more disheartening. The problem with Fang Miang's coddling of the disciples training at the drilling grounds, by the way, I put the word training in here and I realized after the fact they were actually being disciplined, so different context, I imagine isn't so much one of his own making. For one thing, they are a specialized group of people that does an exceptionally hard and life-threatening duty in the region that they live in. That requires training, I imagine, to do so reliably and safely. So, in that, he is just wrong. But the other element, of which he couldn't yet know the severity, but we, the audience, do, is what lies over the horizon in the future with the coming deaths and battles. These people will want all the training that they can get before that war that is to come gets here. I guess Jin Zijuan's father was at Guso, and we never got to see him, as Fang Mian implies that he talked to him there about Yang Li and Zijuan's engagement. It really feels like Fang Mian is a good father, but a bad clan leader. I can see both sides of him, strength and weakness. He's doing what would be right were he not making decisions that mattered for his entire clan. As Ziyuan points out, there is a political element to this engagement that goes beyond just love. In the same way that Feng Miang stepped in to protect the disciples from discipline, He is protecting his daughter's feelings at the cost of clan strength. Ziyan is clearly better for the clan than her husband is, even if the truth of their marriage is disappointingly loveless. Well, at least from Ziyan's side, I get the sense that Fangmian does love her. It is interesting that Fangmian is the one that brought Wei Ying to the clan. Plus the implied care he has for him above that of his own son. Clearly something that will drive a wedge in that relationship in the future, I'm sure. Heck, might also explain that look that I commented on from earlier. And my final note here. Yan Li says that Zijuan is full of charisma. I still gotta ask how. For one thing, she only met him a few times when they were younger. I doubt he was a bastion of charisma as a child. Every time we've met him, he's been cold and uptight. Doesn't seem like that changes when he's not on camera. I have to think Yan Li just had an idealized version of him in her head because she knows that this arranged marriage is going to happen and is making the best of the situation. I hope the stabbing we saw in the flashback isn't going to be something stupid like Zixuan is jealous of Wei Ying and kills her to take something away from him. What we've established, her just gives me that vibe that something horrible from this guy is on its way. Anyway, that's the notes. As I said, we do have a comment. And I will say, unlike last time, I did not read this one ahead, so I don't know anything. But we have, again, from Sarah Linda from the Patreon, from the episode Going Home. Written before you have watched this episode / after listening to you talk about my comments. By the way, hearing what I wrote said out loud is cringy, lol. I sound like a pretentious lecturer. I'd say things differently if we were having a live conversation. Anyways, you should go back and listen to some of our comments from Fate Zero, people explaining the world of Fate Zero. There's a lot going on in the Fate universe. Those comments are basically like what you're doing here. Because I have read like your first sentence here about what are spoilers and what's not said in the show, right? The Fate universe is apparently filled with all of this crazy shit that the show doesn't tell you. And not for nothing, understanding it doesn't actually add anything. But we went deep into so many comments about what you pick up from that. Anyway, I don't mind. Literally, I don't care. I enjoy the back and forth commentary that we get from these note sections. My only concern was the spoiler aspect. You could give me a bullet point list, I'll probably still read it. Anyway, I just want to say that I did not give you any information that will later be told, shown, or explained, because cultivation is a well-established system in Chinese fantasy. I'm filling in either cultural or historical details or cultivation tropes, I guess, or basics, because cultivation is a well-established system in Chinese fantasy. Is saying something won't be explained in the show itself a spoiler? I would never give away any major details or answer any musings you're having if the show is going to tell / show you later. Some of it is lost in translation, not because the translations are terrible, but because some things just don't have an English equivalent, and they have to choose clarity or simplicity rather than explain the cultural / social implications all the time. This show and the novels it's based on were not written to be easily accessible to non-Chinese viewers / readers. The novels have extensive glossaries in the English translations, and non-Chinese fans have done tons of research to have a better understanding of many aspects of the story. Sorry, I have to think about that one. I'll go into your next paragraph, and I'll give that a bit of a think. The Golden Core, for example, is not going to be explained in the show. It is just a typical thing that nearly all cultivation stories contain, and Chinese viewers would be familiar with it. Like the mimics in Furin, everyone who has any contact with D&D or anything derived from / inspired by D&D just knows what those are. The same with cultivation as a technique. They won't explain it because it is the most common form of magic in Chinese fantasy. Western wizards have staffs or wands or hockey sticks if you know the Dresden Files, which we do because we've talked about that before. Witches fly on broomsticks. Sorry. Chinese cultivators fly on their swords and have golden cores. Okay, let's see. Let's try and hit up the main point here. Is saying something won't be explained in the show itself a spoiler? I guess not. I think my element of what I was calling a spoiler is the element that you didn't preface that the show will never explain these things. It felt like you were just telling me a bunch of information apropos of nothing, and not knowing that the show won't explain those things. It just sounded like you knew what was coming and were trying to tell me stuff that would, I don't know, help me, but also felt like it was spoiling me. The element that the show won't explain it, is that a spoiler? I guess only if it's done backwards, right? Like the golden ball. If you tell me, hey, you saw that golden ball flash that happened this episode, the show is never going to explain that, but it is this thing in Chinese mythology, I guess my problem was a problem of understanding the information that you were giving to me, because I am so used to avoiding spoilers, right? You might not have encountered this because I don't think I don't know. No, I don't think you went through, I know you've gone through my Apothecary Diaries reactions, though you may have passed over the one instance where I told somebody not to spoil me, and they threw a hissy fit and left the Patreon. But I am constantly talking about how many people on YouTube will just throw spoilers into the comment section, and I have to do a little dance to avoid them. And, essentially you have to start reading a spoiler before you realize you're reading a spoiler. That is my stance on the problem, is that I'm doing my best to not ruin the story for myself, and I have to kind of build a wall between me and the viewer base. Thankfully, I'm not popular enough that this happens all the time. Typically, the show is being watched by like 10 people, but So yeah, I wasn't attacking you in those comments. I was just trying to make sure that the things that I read felt like things that I'd already seen or thought. Um, I think you understand what I'm saying. At this point, I'm rambling the same way that I would if Lessons were here with me. So that has been the comment. I think there's nothing left to do here but to hop on into the next episode, and I guess watch an archery contest at Nevernight for the when discussions, if I'm remembering what they said was going to happen next. Anyway, let's hop into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
And as always, we enter into what I think might be one of the longest opening sequences I have for... I just also realized... Sorry, I know this is a train of thought thing every time every opening happens, and sometimes I'm not very clear about what I'm thinking. Especially if you're watching this on YouTube and you won't see the thing I'm about to talk about because you're only seeing the bottom half of the screen. It says Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation at the opening start, but it also says the past. Does that imply the rest of this season is going to be entirely the past? And because I believe there's 2 or 3 seasons of this show, that the next season will bring us back to the present? There's also the element that I believe Sarah Linde brought up before, that this opening is made specifically for Crunchyroll. So I don't know exactly what part of that might have been Crunchyroll specific. And I apologize, now I can't remember what I was leaning into before I noticed that. I know I was talking about the element that this is one of the longest openings, I think, of any show that I've reacted to. And it wouldn't be such an issue if it didn't feel so jarring. Also, so many spoilers. Oh, it is the archery competition. Also, not for nothing, archery. I don't think any of our characters have ever done archery in the show so far. That's an outfit I don't think we've seen before. Oh, Wen Ning. A Wen character. That's not easy to do, catching an arrow out of the air. I mean, you say that, but he almost shot you. I'm assuming that's made of, like, hay or something, so wouldn't be too difficult to throw it into the bullseye. Courtesy name. You know, I haven't seen that since the pop-ups in the early episodes. I mean, that's what they're called, but... You know, the other tragedy is any Wen character we meet along the way, we know the fate of the Wen clan. Like, Mr. Socially Awkward here, destined to die. I want them to pan back to the drum because I could have sworn that was a wall of unmoving water. Yeah, that. How is the drum legendary when we have a wall of unmoving water? Remember, Jiang Shang said that never wants to see him again. Oh, sorry, he said it himself. Did he? I'm forgetting, sorry. I think he would legit feel it because it's tied pretty tight to his head. Alright, so there's only 5 of them. Yeah, obviously, if you looked at the board, I had one clan on the board. It's not represented. And had no banner, so clearly I thought I made a mistake immediately. Mingju. It's pretty badass considering the only other clan member we've seen for them.
主息怒。
四大家族与岐山温氏向来只分主客，同排并席。如今这姓温的，都摆出一副仙门之主的派头。
Oh.
温若寒神功已成，又在北疆收得3将。
I thought he was angry because nobody else was here. Not that one guy had an elevated seat.
是不愿再与你我虚以威仪下去。
哼，正好，聂某也厌烦了这强做和珅的虚套。
聂宗主，冷静些。我知你这些年来一直想替父雪恨，但岐山温氏基业庞大，铲除异己的手段又向来狠厉。为了清和聂氏，还需忍耐一二。
是啊，聂宗主何必动怒？不如坐下，好好喝上一杯。
I don't know that I'm gonna like any of the Jin Clan people. They all seem like assholes.
我倒是更好奇，温若寒之外，还有何人在你我之上？
请风二公子入席。
I half suspected it was going to be the nervous guy from the archery thing. Well, isn't he just have evil written all over his face?
温朝这厮，还真当自己是仙门百家的少主了。哼，这座此安排，岐山温氏显然正是此意。
李妃月崩，大乱之兆。
Don't know what we're doing there. Thought he was like reading the cup or something. I mean, it is pretty impressive. I don't know why I'm getting like Fire Lord vibes from like Avatar. Surprising all of this for an archery competition. Oh, it's just magic. Never mind. Oh, this really does feel like the multi-school competition thing from Jujutsu Kaisen. Or the Devil Forest from Naruto.
他怎么在那里啊？他一个旁支又旁支的温姓，谁选他进来的？瞧他那样，他拉得开弓吗？赶紧他边上去，别丢了我岐山温氏的颜面。
Technically, this feels pretty humiliating.
他不但拉得开，
The element that you're calling out your own family members.
你是？喂，无限，听说你剑术不错，
射几只山鸡准头还是可以的。
那你今日可得小心了，我们岐山的凶灵靶可不是你们云梦的蠢山鸡，待在那儿让你射。问你啊，你射箭好，那射一个来看看。
I don't know how this benefits your clan to make a guy wearing your colors embarrass himself in front of everyone.
放松，你刚才射的不是挺好的？
Maybe put a blindfold on him, close his eyes. He might be better if he can't see. Ironically.
干什么？等我替你下去不成？赶紧换人。
你刚才又紧张了，不用太过在意。你剑法极好，真的。我见过的所有世家子弟里，比你好的绝对不超过3个。啊？ 这个就没你说的好。找死！
I mean, I like it because it feels more honest if you say people are better than you.
多在人前练练就习惯了，下次一定可以让人刮目相看。
你哪来那么多废话？还不快滚去入场！
知道了。
Again, we know this guy's gonna be fucking dead. This is clearly just a build-up so we can lose something.
哎，凶灵靶呢？咱们兵分两路，一会儿在出口处汇合。
我说，你这带的都是些什么路啊？
少废话，跟上就行了。
I mean, if you got ambushed by an evil spirit, this would be literally the worst place. Especially if all you had was a bow and arrow.
你给我闭嘴！
It is dumb. Stop getting distracted. Look where you're going.
快，酋长，
又干嘛？
你快看！
啊，这就是。
It's those guys from Final Fantasy VII Remake. I guess a bow and arrow can take these out. I mean, in the future, we know that his weapon of choice is a whip. I guess implying that the other three guys did nothing.
贵宗子弟剑术实在了得，这回恐怕又是贵宗夺魁了吧？
金宗主说笑了，未到结束，一切都不是定数。
Wow, 2-1. No, well, there you go. Your guys. But the other clan's got 2, so they're clearly in the lead.
刚开场就折了5人。
Oh, I got it. It was in reverse. The opposite of what I was saying is true. Alright, well, that's that relationship. He's the entitled son to the clan leader who is trying to usurp authority over everyone, so that's why he's gonna feel like he's entitled to do whatever he wants. Azula to Firelord Oza? I can't remember. I stopped making that reference. You can just punch spirits. Good to know.
温家凶灵吧，也没什么大不了的嘛。
I mean, there's certainly no Aqua Demon. bit of a cheat.
哎，无限，我既然来了，就由不得你们再嚣张。
I mean, you could just follow other people around and then snipe their shots. Because the only spirits you have to be concerned about are the spirits other people might shoot. Because if they don't shoot any, you get the kill. As per. Oh, so what are the fucking rules that you just let another person in when the competition's already going?
子是否眼疾？如此醒目的退场标识，我二公子竟然瞧不见。
你说什么？
射错射空必须退场。我二公子难道要自坏规矩吗？
哼，规矩，我就是规矩。
Not a
真是蛮不讲理。
Not a huge thing you're saying here, but
还不是仗着自己姓温呗，上梁不正。
really feels like a George Jed thing, right? I am the law.
不要，小心！
Well, he certainly me. Jesus Christ. He certainly must be the number one. Lanzan. Because that is above splitting the arrow from Robin Hood. We're not going to cover the dude just tried to murder a guy? I don't believe anyone... your headband is actually lopsided.
无聊。哎呀，这次是真的。来，我帮你正正。
Does he have something on his forehead? Is it symbolic? Oh, he's angry.
不好意思啊，我真的不是故意的。给你，你重新系上吧。
Ooh, fuck, he's also super strong.
确实，这是一条木鹅吗？蓝湛这是怎么了？
Clearly a lot going on there that we need to unpack at some point. Sorry, I was thinking like the Neji thing from Naruto where it was hiding like a curse mark or something. I don't suspect a curse mark. I would just like...
什么？蓝湛他提前离场了？什么时候啊？
就在你扯掉他木鹅以后。
Teared off his headband?
是一条木鹅吗？
Come on, translators. Tore off his headband.
知道蓝家人多宝贝他们的木鹅。你真是不作死就手痒。蓝忘机，铁定恨死你。
Well, that's disappointing. I'm actually rooting for a relationship between those two. As much as the show is also positioning us to root for a relationship between Wei Ying and Yan Li. Did leaving early disqualify him? Lanzan really was doing amazing there. Oh, that son of a bitch. 4th place? The dude split an arrow, saving a dude's life, and taking out a spirit. Okay, halfway. That makes sense. No wonder those guys don't have names. They're clearly gonna die at some point soon. You'd think if they were going to organize this, there would be like a multi-day event with other things than archery. Seems weird that this all just happened for one archery event. Okay, I guess he doesn't seem so bad. He came off poorly at the beginning, but I like this concern that he's having. God, Nevernight is such a cool looking place. Wow, that was... I'm so used to this show. There's 3 levels of show that we're currently reacting to. On one level, there is like Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which sometimes can feel like a slog, and then you get into a long discussion period, and you're like, oh, this is what this means, or this is what's happening, and then back to a slow-moving pace. You have normal shows, which I would say this normally is in the normal show range of how long it feels like it's taking to get through it. And then there's the more extreme stuff, say like Dan to Dan. But that might be because Dan to Dan puts its opening close to halfway through the show, so by the time you hit the opening, by the time you hit the next half of the show, you're like, oh my god, everything's happening so fast. Or, ironically, I said Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Legend of the Galactic Heroes Die New Thieves happened at such a breakneck speed. I used to joke of getting like nosebleeds trying to keep up with what's happening. So yeah, no, this felt incredibly fast, only because I guess maybe we're being introduced to so many characters. The new clan interaction thing. Like maybe I'm gonna have to put up a clan relationship chart. Because obviously everyone's kind of pissed at Wen, but there might be more interactivity between those 4 clans that we saw and how they regard each other. I mean, we got the character board specifically for the interpersonal relationship, so I guess we could do maybe a clan chart. I mean, even though right now it feels like it would be 4 clans allied, Wen clan, not liked. Well, some of them might have white lines. Certainly none of them would have red lines at the moment. Because again, despite what's happening on a clan level, that one dude, the son of the leader, Rohan's son, I can't remember his name, Cho? Was it Cho? Wen Cho? Or was it Wen Chao? Just tried to murder a dude. He just tried to murder a dude, and we just, like, let it go. I just don't know. I don't know what we do with that information. Clearly, it signals to us that he's predisposed to do something like that again. If I had to make a guess based on narratives that I've seen already, what I think would be more likely to happen is that he is going to follow that trail and just accidentally kill somebody. Like, no one's going to be there to stop him from doing anything. He's going to be a Joffrey from Game of Thrones. He's going to do something that nobody can stop him from doing, and the course of events are going to play out from there. I guess the other main thing, because obviously I could talk about the clan relationships as it comes to the point of the Wen clan putting itself above everyone else, but I feel like that's more of a notes for a next time thing. The other thing that's really focused me up on this one is the headband in Lanzan, because obviously I don't want Lanzan to never see Wei Yin again. Wei Ying again. But I also just don't understand why he's so pissed about it. It might be the aspect that he is our most, I don't want to say touched. He is our most, the Lan clan member that we are the most contact with. And none of the other ones have ever expressed anything about their headbands. Although he did know enough about the headbands mattering to call out that his was crooked. So it implies that he knows something. Again, it's going to have to be explained to us, or I guess Sarah's going to come back at us in the comments and tell us that it's never going to be explained. Here, let me explain it to you. Again, I'm not mocking, it's just the element of the show. I have to say, this is so far past the comment section now, but this is additional comment response at this point. I have to say that that is a negative to the show. That the show itself has items within it that will not be ever explained or expressed. Now, I get the element that this is a donghua, and the possibility therein that it was never meant for a non-Chinese audience. You know, more localized to the mainland, as we would say. Or as I'm saying now, I don't know, who's the fucking we here? That it's made for its intended audience, and its intended audience is not me, right? If we were watching a World of Warcraft movie and it never explained anything about World of Warcraft, and I would still blame it. The element here is that this isn't some normalized piece of media, right? This isn't D&D, as per the comment response, or World of Warcraft, or anything normalized to where I live, obviously. I know most of my audience is in Japan or the Philippines, and they might have localized stories there that I wouldn't understand off the top of anything. But I also would think, well, you know, I guess there's just stuff that's so simplistic that you don't add explanations. You know, even in, like, DC Comics, you gotta stop telling Batman's origin story. We all know it. And at some point, you're gonna encounter somebody who doesn't know it, and they're gonna be the weird one. So, I guess I'm the weird one here, because I'm watching a piece of media from a foreign country where I'm not the target audience, and I'm complaining about social, not social norms, fantasy norms that are just unknown to me. So, I guess there's nothing I can do about that, but just, like, try and go with the flow. I'm not going to stop talking about the stuff that I don't understand, because obviously I kind of have to keep going with it, but that is what it is. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for this episode. So once again, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?